friends. Today we're going to read Animal Strike at the Zoo, It's True, by Karma Wilson and illustrated by Margaret Spangler. Now you're going to notice that the illustrator did a really good job of making the animals' faces very expressive to show us a bunch of different emotions. So we'll talk about some emotions while we're reading the story. We'll talk about some why they're feeling the way they are, and then we'll also find some new vocabulary. So I hope you enjoy it. First things first, before we get started, let's look at this. Just looking at this cover, I know this is definitely a fiction story. I know this is not really happening, but it's cute and I hope you like it. There's an animal strike at the zoo. It's true. The headlines are telling it all. The animals quit. That's it. We're through. Say all critters from biggest to small. So the animals at the zoo do not feel like doing their jobs anymore. But we don't know why. We'll find out. But they have all of these signs and they're saying, that's it. We're through. We quit. We're not doing this. Here's the elephants. We're paid only peanuts, the elephants shout. And goodness, we're bigger than that. So now they won't trumpet or lumber about. They sit in the shade looking fat. So here's the elephants. And why are they on strike? Look at what they're eating. It says they're only paid with peanuts, and they think that they deserve something better than that. And it says that they're not going to lumber about. Do we know what lumber means? If we think of elephants, they're big and they can move very slowly. They could move laboriously. That's another fancy word, which means they just move very slowly and kind of heavily. And then also, they're not going to trumpet anymore, which means that sound that they make with their trunks. The monkeys won't monkey around anymore. You won't see us climbing again. They wallow like big monkey lumps on the floor. We want a nice pool in our pen. So if you go and you want to see the monkeys doing some fun things, you're not going to see them monkeying about, playing, being active. They're wallowing. So they're just laying about, not doing anything. And do you know why? They want a pool in their pen, which, I mean, it's nice to have a pool. The leopards aren't prowling, so they're not hunting around for food. The wolf packs aren't howling. The tigers aren't growling. The otters are scowling. Egad, the worst has come true. There's an animal strike at the zoo. So let's look at the otters' faces. That illustrator sure did a good job of showing them scowling. Now, if you never heard of that word before, if we look at their faces, what do we think scowling means? They're certainly not happy. This is a very angry frown. So that's what they mean by scowling. The zebras are looking like horses today. They painted their stripes in, you see. We're all sick and tired of eating this hay. Our good looks do not come for free. So the zebras think that their stripes make them very special and very fancy. And they think that horses look kind of plain. So they're painting themselves to look like horses. Do we know why the horses are on strike, why they don't want to do this anymore? If you're listening, it said they're sick and tired of eating hay. So I think they want something a little bit more delicious than just hay all day, every day. I don't blame them. I don't know if I want to eat hay all the time either. Those silly giraffes are not any better. You won't see our necks anymore. They're knitting themselves lots of turtleneck sweaters which go from their heads to the floor. This is a lot of work. Do you see this giraffe? This giraffe has knitting needles and she's knitting this long turtleneck to cover up the giraffe's neck. So the giraffes think that their long necks is what makes them special. And they said, nope, you can't look at our lovely, wonderful long necks anymore. So they're covering them up with the turtleneck. Business these days is as slow as can be. Folks go to the circus instead. Nobody wants to pay money to see the animals lying in bed. I mean, do you want to go to the zoo and just watch a bunch of animals sleeping? That's not much fun. The lions aren't roaring. The eagles aren't soaring. The penguins are snoring. It's all rather boring. What can the zookeeper do? There's an animal strike at the zoo. Oh, this poor zookeeper's trying to figure out what he can do to help them. He really is doing the best that he can. The elephants all got a raise. So now he's trying to come up with some kind of compromise so that the animals will be happy and that he'll be happy. Instead of just peanuts, they now eat pecans. And he offered them 6-hour days. So one of the little compromises he's come up is he still gives them peanuts, but now he also gives them pecans to eat, and he's shortened how much time that they have to be performing for people. You think that they'll feel happy about that? If I look at the baby elephant, that elephant looks happy. So maybe the elephant likes the change in the food. Oh, look, here's the monkeys. They wanted a kiddie pool, remember? The monkeys were given a small kiddie pool, and he's feeding the zebras sweet oats. So he heard what they wanted, and he gave them a pool, and he changed what the zebras got to eat. But the monkeys complain that the water is cool. They think it's too cold and frigid in there. That's not what they wanted. And the zebras demand root beer floats. So they don't want hay and they don't want oats. They want root beer floats. I don't know that that's the healthiest thing for those zebras to eat, though. Then in through the gate walked sweet little Sue. She just can't believe that she's here. She's always wanted to come to the zoo, and she's begged for this trip for a year. So now here comes little Sue. And do you think she knows that the animals are on strike and they're not doing their jobs? How do you think she's going to feel when she sees all of the animals just laying around not doing anything? Let's find out. But no birdies are peeping, no lizards are creeping, no bunnies are leaping. Then poor Sue starts weeping. Her heart is broken in two by the animal strike at the zoo. So if you look at Sue's face now, it said she's weeping. What is happening? That's right, weeping is another word for crying. She's not happy at all. She's quite sad and quite upset. As tears start to streak down her cute rosy face, the animals watch this wee child. A deep hush of sadness falls over the place. So look at all of the animals' faces. All of the animals are looking quite worried. I don't think that they like that Sue is so upset. What do you think they might do? What do you think? Let's find out. And then they go totally wild. So look at them. With roaring and peeping and howling and growling, all critters from biggest to small start soaring and creeping and leaping and prowling. Then little Sue laughs at them all. So all of the animals realize that they really do like entertaining the children and having the children come to the zoo and have a good time. And all of the animals find out that day they actually like what they do. The zookeeper calls the reporters to say, "Hooray! No more strike at the zoo!" So now how does the zookeeper feel? Oh, he's so excited now that the animals aren't on strike anymore. But the bear at the circus won't pedal his bike. Uh-oh, he says he's on strike. So, did you like that story? Did you think that was fun? I think it's a very cute little silly story, and I like how expressive the animals look in the story. Now, you might not be able to go to the zoo right now, but you can go to different online sites like the San Diego Zoo. I know has cameras on at their zoo, so you can just go to their website and you can look around and see what the animals are doing. So that might be fun. I hope you liked it. I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.